Thank you very much for coming to the CAIR Michigan dinner. We're very honored to have one of the leaders of our community here today, Congressman Andre Carson from the great state of Indiana. His basketball team didn't do so good yesterday against the Pistons, but inshallah. He serves on the Finance Committee in the U.S. Congress, but he has been best known recently for his wonderful work advocating for not just Muslims, but for the civil rights of all people who have been seeing their names trampled and have been seeing some of their rights taken away or challenged. We appreciate the work that he's doing, and we know that he is an inspiration for the young adults in our community and the not so young. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us. Please join us.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Praise the Lord. What's up? To Imam Jahari Abdul, thank you for your motivational words. To my dear friend and brother Dawood Walid, to Dr. Leonard Pitts, to the Dean of the House of Representatives, and my dear friend and a wise sage, Congressman Dingo. Thank you. My dear friend Conyers isn't here, but he's actually my neighbor. We live in the same complex together in D.C., so he's a dear friend. Thank you for representing him. To Lieutenant Mutcher, congratulations. We need more law enforcement working with the community. We appreciate you. Linda Sarsour, Dr. Taib, Sister Ayman, and Bill Gallagher, thank you so much. It is an honor to be in the Motor City coming from the great Hoosier State. I appreciate the dig on the Pacers, but Butler, we won. Butler won last night, so I'm excited about that. It's an honor to be here not only as a representative, Brother Jahari, of the great Hoosier State, but it is indeed an honor to be here as a proud American Muslim. Absolutely. You know, I often tell the story, Congressman Dingell, about a conversation that was held by Ben Franklin at the Constitutional Convention, and a lady by the name of Mrs. Powell walked up to him after they closed things up, and she said, "What do we have? Do we have a republic or a monarchy?" And he looked at her with his receding hairline and a broken smile. They didn't have good dentistry back then, and said, "We have a republic if you can keep it." How do you keep the republic? How do you keep the republic? How do you uphold the Bill of Rights? You keep the republic by speaking truth to power. You keep the republic by having, my good side's over here, by having organizations. I'm kidding, brother. I'm kidding, brother. Keep the republic by getting my good side. That's how you start. No, I'm kidding. Start for a lot. You keep the republic by having advocacy groups like CAIR, who can speak out against police brutality, who can work with law enforcement effectively, work with the FBI and Homeland Security effectively, but being critical of the practice of planting agents in our mosques, stirring up trouble without probable cause or reasonable suspicion. That's how you keep the republic. We keep the republic as American Muslims by becoming more engaged in the political process, by having more representatives like Sister Rashida, by having more members of Congress like myself and Keith Ellison, by becoming city councilors and precinct committee persons. And, you know, one day I think we're going to have a Muslim governor. And it might be a sister, brothers. I'm sorry. See a sister with state police security with hijab on. Linda Sarsour in Brooklyn or something like that. Beautiful sight. It's a real sight. But we have to fight the xenophobic behavior from the Peter Kings of the world. Now, I don't think my dear colleague is a bad human being at all. I think he's misguided. One has to wrestle with being in this position with constant media attention and have to curtail your narcissistic proclivities, your attempts to raise your national profile. But we can't let you raise your national profile on the backs of hard-working American Muslims who give back to this country each and every day. I'm saying that you can go to any major hospital in this country and find a fine Muslim physician there to assist. You can go to some of our police departments and find Muslim lieutenants and captains, and in some cases, chiefs of police. And we have Muslim mayors who are helping deal with fiscal questions as we live in a time when there's rhetoric about increased government transparency and pulling back on excessive spending. I'm saying that Muslims are in our courtrooms, and we have great judicial officers across this country. But that's not enough. That is far from enough. We have come to a place, especially in Detroit, especially with the rich Islamic tradition in Detroit, particularly coming from the African American community in Detroit. I love that you can go to most Juma services on a Friday and see multiculturalism at play, different races at play. But while we have that, we have to give a salute to the hard work and the seeds that were planted in the late 1500s by those West African slaves and really stirring the pot, though controversial, though mythological at points, but still proud, though misguided, but still proud of an Islamic identity that began here in Detroit in the 1920s, in the 1930s. Brothers and sisters, not only am I happy to be here, but I'm honored because 3 years ago when I ran, we had a bit of a controversy as it related to CAIR, myself and Keith included. There was a great misunderstanding coming from the great Hoosier State, and CAIR Los Angeles gave us a PAC check, while we had several opponents whose only premise was vote for the non-Muslim. And CAIR came out and supported us, and we're still getting some heat and flack because of the support that we got from CAIR. But I want to say that I'm unapologetic about speaking on behalf of my friends. We need bold leadership today. Too many of us, and that's okay. If you're not bold, that's okay. That's just who you are. Don't worry about it. We have enough bold brothers and sisters here to speak out on your behalf. Everyone can't be a Brother Dawood. Not everyone can be a Jahari or a Linda Sarsour, but that's all right. We need bold leadership today, the kind of leadership like Charles Dingle, John Conyers, unafraid to speak truth to power while in the perch of power. Got a man like Dingle who can easily sit back and become comfortable with his existence and his tenure, but he's still bold. He'll still speak out against the war effort. He'll still speak out against our jobs moving overseas. He'll still speak out against the lack of investments in alternative energy as we go into Libya. He'll still speak out about those things that concern his constituents. And as we move forward, we have to wrestle with our identity as Muslims. Are we going to continue to be reactionary? I appreciate the work of CAIR and being proactive before the Peter King hearings, but we need to do more. You know, as a member of Congress, I hear from almost every advocacy group before a bill comes up. I don't hear from Muslims until after the Congress votes.